I still remember the afternoon sunlight slipping through the lace curtains when Ariba arrived at my door. My daughter-in-law rarely visited me alone, so her presence itself felt unusual. But when I saw the smile she wore, too polite, too practiced, I felt a strange tightening in my chest. She held a glossy wine bottle wrapped in golden paper, tied with a red ribbon, as if presenting a trophy. "Amy," she said gently, "I brought this for you. You deserve to relax." Relax. The word rolled oddly in my mind. After months of cold stares and sarcastic comments, this sudden kindness was unnatural, but I forced a smile. "Thank you, Beta. That's very thoughtful." Her eyes flickered briefly, like she was checking my reaction. Then she exhaled, relieved, and placed the bottle on the table. She talked a little too sweetly, too carefully, before leaving quickly, as if afraid the moment might stretch long enough to reveal something hidden beneath her composure. For the rest of the day, my heart felt uneasy. I kept glancing at the bottle. A gift is supposed to feel warm, but this one felt like a stone on my chest. That evening, we had a family dinner at my sister's house. Ariba's mother, Samina, was there, too kind, gentle, always respectful to me. As we prepared the table, I picked up the wine Ariba had given me. "Samina apa," I said with a smile. "Ariba brought this today. You should take it. It will suit tonight's dinner." Her eyes lit up. "Are you sure?" "Of course. She's your daughter. You should enjoy her choice." For a second, barely a breath, I noticed Ariba stiffen. Her fingers froze around the spoon she was holding. Her smile slipped but quickly returned. If I had blinked, I might have missed it. "But mothers don't miss these things." She said nothing, yet a quiet panic rippled through her expression. It unsettled me, but I brushed it aside. Later, during dinner, Samina happily opened the bottle. Ariba's eyes followed every movement, too closely. The sound of the cork popping echoed through the room like a warning I ignored. Everyone laughed, chatted, ate, and drank through the night. Samina sipped the wine, praising the taste, but Ariba didn't eat much. Her gaze kept darting between me and her mother. Her jaw tightened each time Samina lifted the glass. It was only later, much later, that I would understand what that look truly meant. For now, I simply enjoyed the evening, unaware that a storm had already begun to form over us, quietly, deliberately, and with a purpose I could not yet imagine. The night ended with laughter. The morning arrived with screams. I was in the kitchen making tea when my phone rang violently on the counter. It was my sister, breathless, panicked, her voice shaking in a way I had never heard before. "Samina has collapsed. We're taking her to the hospital. Come quickly." For a moment, everything inside me went silent. The cup slipped from my hand and shattered. My fingers trembled as I grabbed my shawl and rushed out of the house. At the hospital, chaos surrounded us. Nurses rushing, stretchers wheeling past, Samina's family crying. I saw her lying on a bed, pale, unconscious, her breathing shallow. Ariba stood at a distance, frozen stiff. Her hands clenched so tightly her knuckles had turned white. The doctor finally approached us. His expression was grave. "What she consumed last night was contaminated," he said. My heart dropped. "Contaminated with what?" I whispered. He hesitated. "We are still confirming, but it appears intentional." The room spun around me. Intentional. The only unusual thing Samina consumed last night was the wine. The wine Ariba gave me. A hot, sharp wave of disbelief crashed over me. No, it couldn't be. Ariba wouldn't. But as I turned to look at her, I found her eyes already on me, wide, afraid, watching me as if waiting to see my reaction. She looked like someone whose secret had slipped through her fingers. Suddenly, pieces began falling into place. Her sudden kindness, her nervous expression when I offered the wine to Samina, the tightness in her jaw when Samina drank it, her silence now, too heavy, too terrified. Something cold crawled up my spine. Was that bottle ever meant for me? Before I could steady myself, my son, Fahad, rushed into the hallway. His face was pale, panic-stricken. "What happened? Amy, are you okay?" Ariba, what's going on? Ariba immediately grabbed his arm, her panic switching into a desperate performance. I don't know. Amy gave the wine to my mother. Why would she do that? She cried loudly. Her words sliced through me. She wasn't worried about her mother. She was worried about being exposed. My son looked between us, confused, trying to make sense of her accusation. But I said nothing. Not now, not here. The truth was forming inside my heart, piece by horrifying piece. The doctor returned moments later. We've stabilized her for now, but someone needs to bring the bottle she drank from. We need to test it. Every eye turned to me. Slowly, silently, I nodded. I'll bring it. As I walked out of the hospital, my legs felt weak, my heart heavy. The city around me buzzed with life, but all I could hear was the quiet echo of Ariba's voice. Why would she do that? No. The real question was, why did you give it to me? And for the first time, I understood that the storm had not just begun, it had already hit. And I was standing right in the center of it. When I returned home to retrieve the wine bottle, my hands shook the entire time. It sat where Samina had placed it the night before, half empty, its glossy label catching the morning light. Something that once seemed harmless now felt like a silent witness to a crime. As I wrapped it in a bag, a question echoed inside me. Was I supposed to be the one lying in that hospital bed? The thought made my chest tighten painfully. I steadied myself and looked around the house, suddenly seeing things differently. Ariba's visits, her cold stares, her forced smiles. None of it felt random anymore. Before leaving, I walked into my son's old study, searching for answers without knowing exactly where to begin. A gut feeling told me that Ariba's motives were deeper than hatred. There had to be something more. I opened drawers, sifted through folders, and then I froze. There it was. A life insurance policy. My name on it, my son's forged signature, and Ariba listed as the beneficiary. My breath caught in my throat. The dates lined up perfectly right around the time Ariba had started acting unusually sweet, offering help, bringing food, insisting I take care of my health. The pieces connected with chilling precision, but that wasn't all. In the bottom of the drawer lay a small envelope, inside it a printed screenshot. Messages, vicious, hateful, sent from Ariba to her friend. She's old and useless. Fahad spends money on her instead of building our future. If she wasn't here, everything would be easier. My fingers trembled as I read them. My heart cracked not because she hated me, but because she was willing to erase me like a problem, not a person. I closed my eyes and inhaled deeply. Anger rose within me, not loud or explosive, but cold and sharp. The kind that comes from betrayal, too deep to be forgiven. I needed proof, more proof. I called my childhood friend Shabana, who had worked for years as a legal assistant. I need help, I whispered. Within an hour, she was at my home. I showed her everything, the policy, the messages, the forged signature. Her face stiffened with horror. This is premeditated, she said. If the hospital confirms the contamination, this isn't just cruelty, it's attempted murder. The words echoed in the room. Attempted murder against me. We gathered the documents, photographed every page, and organized them carefully. But I needed one more thing, the truth from Ariba's own mouth. When I returned to the hospital, I found her pacing in the hallway, stress written all over her face. She tried to appear composed, but her eyes darted nervously when she saw me. "Did you bring the bottle?" she asked too quickly. I nodded but didn't hand it over. Instead, I stepped closer. "Ariba, why were you so nervous last night?" I asked quietly. She stiffened and nervous. I wasn't nervous. "Then why did your face change when I gave the wine to your mother?" Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Her eyes flashed fear, guilt, panic. Then she tried to mask it. "You're imagining things," she whispered. I took a slow breath and leaned closer, keeping my voice calm, almost gentle. "I know about the insurance policy." Her eyes widened. Her breath hitched, her face drained of color. She took a step back, stuttering, "W. What policy? I don't know. And the signatures you forged." Her mouth snapped shut. "And the messages you sent." For a moment, the hallway went silent. Then, like a trapped animal, Ariba broke. "Fine," she hissed in a sharp whisper. "Yes, I was desperate. You don't understand. Everything goes to you. Your house, your savings. Fahad sends money to you every month instead of improving our life. Don't you see? You are standing in..." The way her voice trembled violently, I stayed calm. I did not argue. I did not cry. I simply tapped my phone screen. The voice recorder blinked red. Ariba's eyes widened in horror. "You recorded me?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. For the first time, she understood. Her mask had fallen. Her lies were exposed. Her game was over. And I, quiet, harmless, old me, held the power now. The recording on my phone felt heavier than the wine bottle I carried. It wasn't just evidence. It was the truth Ariba had buried beneath her smiles, now lying exposed in my hands. But I didn't rush. Revenge, I realized, was best served not with rage, but with precision. I handed the contaminated bottle to the doctors, watching Ariba's panic grow with every passing second. She tried to stay close to my son, clinging to him, whispering that I was confused and overthinking. But the fear in her eyes betrayed her. 2 hours later, the toxicology report confirmed everything. It was intentional. The doctor said firmly, "A controlled substance, dangerous. Someone modified the bottle." Fahad's face paled. He looked at Ariba and for the first time truly saw her. Still, I didn't say a word. Not yet. The calm before the storm, I called my friend Shabana again. Together, we compiled all the evidence, the policy, the messages, the forged documents, and the recorded confession. She prepared a file so neatly that it looked like it belonged in a courtroom. Then came the final step. I visited the police station quietly, without drama, handing over the file and the bottle. The officers' faces hardened as they flipped through the pages. They didn't need my tears. The evidence spoke for itself. They only asked one question: "Do you want to proceed?" I looked down, thinking of my son, loyal, loving, blind in his trust. Thinking of Samina, innocent, fighting for her life because of a hatred that wasn't meant for her. Thinking of myself targeted, betrayed by someone I had treated as a daughter. My answer was simple: yes, I do. The moment everything broke that evening, while Ariba was still pretending to be distraught near her mother's hospital room, the police arrived. The hallway filled with whispers as 2 officers approached her calmly. "Mrs. Ariba Fahad, you need to come with us." Her eyes widened. "For what? What did I do?" She looked desperately at my son. "Fahad, tell them I didn't do anything. He didn't move." He didn't speak. He just looked at me. Ariba's voice cracked. "Why are you silent? Fahad, say something." But it was already over. One of the officers read out the charges: attempted poisoning, forgery, fraud, premeditated harm. The words echoed through the hallway, shattering her last defense. Tears streamed down her face as they gently but firmly took her away. She screamed my name. "You old woman, you ruined my life. You..." Her voice faded as the elevator doors closed. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Rebuilding, not breaking. Hours later, Samina finally opened her eyes. Weak but conscious, when Fahad told her what had happened, she cried, not from pain but from relief. My son turned to me with trembling lips. "Ammi, I'm so sorry. I didn't see who she really was. I should have protected you." I placed my hand on his. "No, Beta. Love blinds us all. You didn't fail me." She failed herself. He broke down, resting his head on my shoulder like he used to when he was a child. And for the first time in days, I felt a quiet peace settle in my heart. Revenge didn't give me happiness. Justice did, and justice had finally found its way to the right person. The sweetest revenge weeks later, when all the dust settled, life returned to calm. Ariba faced the consequences of her own actions, not because I fought loudly, but because I fought smartly. I visited Samina often, grateful she survived. Fahad stayed closer to me than ever, guilt slowly transforming into gratitude. People whispered about the incident, but I didn't engage. I learned something important. Sometimes the sweetest revenge is living in peace while the one who harmed you drowns in the truth they tried to hide. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't seek sympathy. I simply let the truth do its work. And in the end, the truth was enough.